Well, hello friends. I'm finally getting to talk to you face to face. I have been running around just doing videos of what I've been up to in the garden beds. And as you have seen, we have gotten things trellised. I have some stakes in to work with my squash. I have trellising over by my cucumbers, and their tendrils are already grabbing hold of that. And there are many flowers, many starts to some squash. Right now I only have some female squash, so I'm really anxiously awaiting to see if I'm gonna get help with cross-pollination, or if I'm gonna have to work on that. So I'm just a work in progress over here. I'm learning as I go, and so far so good. So if you have been following the journey and you are making raised beds and you are learning all the things that I have learned, you've made mistakes already possibly, then you're doing some things right. Your beds love the space. These beds are loving the amount of sunshine that they're getting, and that I did know after my experience last year with the 5-gallon bucket tomatoes, which, by the way, I have some cherry tomatoes, Roma, and another German Jackson to plant. I'm gonna plant in the buckets because they worked well for me until the tobacco hornworm got on them last year. So I know what to look for. I've got my black light and I'm ready to catch those guys before they ever get started. I know they turn into beautiful moths, but I really want to have fruit. And so I'm gonna do everything else that I can to create an environment where the butterflies and the dragonflies and all the bees will come, and they'll help me cross-pollinate and do the work that this little bitty garden needs. So I know that you may be interested. I have taken some gallon jugs. I had asked anybody if I could come and pick theirs up if they were just going to get rid of them. So if you are interested in just seeing how I did this, I mean, I did not go too much laborious measuring out. I just wanted to get some seeds started, and these seeds are actually hollyhock seeds and larkspur. Also, I have some lupines that are growing back here, which I don't know that you can see, but I believe, nope, this is basil. I started some basil, y'all. That's basil. I've got some chives barely coming up. I do have some dill, and I wasn't sure how it was gonna do, but the dill's doing great. Seems to be happy with this, whatever I could find to just poke a hole and put a seed in. Listen, this isn't complicated. I really believe that any of us can do this. And then it's just a matter of learning, how do we continue the seed on to be a successful plant, meaning that we have fruit, right? I want vegetables this summer. I want yellow squash. I want lots of cucumbers and tomatoes of every kind, Romas for making sauces, cherry tomatoes for salads, and a big fat beefsteak, or maybe the German will be good for me this year. So we're doing this so that we can actually enjoy the fruit of our labor. And so far, Lord willing, and we don't just get a horrible summer that just dries everything up. God help us to water things like we should. So anyway, huge success. I'm going to be planting these down by a farm implement where we have a lot of naturalized type of wildflowers that could come up. Now, as far as I understand, the hollyhock, the lupine, and the larkspur are not perennials necessarily, but often they will drop seed and they will continue to propagate. And if that's the case, well, then maybe next year I will be able to share some of these beautiful things with you. So these were the three that I started by seed. Very easy. The germination did not take the amount of days that it says on the packet. So I have had, so far so good. These are looking great. And I think these right here are my lupines. I think I may have them all confused. I've lost my tag on that one. I thought I put it on there, but I do know for sure that these are hollyhock and larkspur in here. So anyway, another update. We went to a really cool farmer's market in the Greensboro area yesterday. The prices were incredible. Special thanks to my friend Tina, who goes there on the regular. And I'm telling you, they're accessible prices for regular folks. So if you get a chance to head that way, I know that in Gastonia we have, in Lincolnton we have one. Charlotte has many, many farmers markets, but this was very, very impressive. There were 2 buildings completely, mostly of plants or fresh cut flowers. So I'm very, very pleased with that. So I picked up yesterday, I lost a couple of my perennials down in the bed. And anyway, I was trying to find a stick to show you. This is coneflower. So, but this one's going to be sort of a cherry red. And my colors that I have down in the bed are pretty much layers of green, but also pops of color with coreopsis. Let's see, I have coneflower, not purple coneflower, but a coneflower that is a red and yellow and orange kind of mix. So I'm gonna pop this in. I've already got a bud coming in here. This was $5. $5 was all that this pot was. So I'm gonna go plant that. I'm gonna put some of these that will get pretty tall. And I'll tell you, you know, on the back of the seed packets, it tells you everything that you really, really need to know. How far to space them once you put them in the ground or in your tub or in your container that you're going to use, how tall they're going to get, and how deep to plant them. So really, the how deep to plant them was simply getting them in a container where they could get water. And these literally have sat out in this tray. And then I have started me a little pot of zinnias. I just planted those 2 days ago. So anyway, getting ready to do that. Gonna be planting the coneflower, this beautiful magenta red. I'm gonna get some tomato plants in 5-gallon buckets like I grew last year. Some aroma tomato, another German Johnson, and a cherry tomato. So for salads. Love the sauces. And then I have a couple pepper plants that are left, and I'm gonna stick those in 1 5-gallon bucket. So I'm gonna add about 4-gallon buckets. I mean, y'all, if you need tomatoes, as long as pest and powdery mildew and the tobacco hornworms, as long as none of those critters get a hold of my plants, I'm gonna be having a table out at the front of my house saying free, take tomatoes. I hope, and maybe cucumbers. I don't know. I'm gonna be stingy with my cucumbers and my squash until there's an abundance and I can't eat any more of it, right? All right, so I have chives. They're barely coming up. I haven't always had success with chives or parsley starting it, or cilantro. I just haven't. And so I thought, well, what do I have to lose? I can try. I do have some more basil that I've started, and it is just coming up like a champ. I didn't measure it. I just sprinkled that packet really evenly, and I should be able to pluck these. Anybody need basil plants? Because I'm gonna have a few. And then let's see, I think that's all of that. Oh yes, and I do have dill. I actually bought some dill because it's really good for pest control in the garden, so, and especially for squash. So I'm gonna put some dill in my squash. I already have rosemary and basil, oregano. I have a lot of different herbs already in my garden, and I'm super excited about that, to enjoy the benefit of eating them, and as well a natural way to hopefully deter the critters that want to eat the food that we want to eat. All right, so before we left yesterday to go out to Greensboro to that wonderful farmers market, I think it's actually Piedmont Triad Farmers Market. Beautiful, beautiful place. Like I said, I paid $5 for this coneflower. So to grab a perennial or two every year to add to your garden, that's such a reasonable price for such a mature plant. All right, so I planted by my cucumbers. I planted some bush beans. Don't have room to trellis. Looks like Mr. Monty and I are going to need to buy another large bed for next year. So maybe we can do some other trellis type things like beans. But this is a bush bean, a blue lake bush bean. Who doesn't love those flat beans? So I planted some of those. And today my goal is I'm going to be dropping in some radishes. I'm going to be dropping in my carrots because we've got rain coming, and this is the perfect time for me to get those in the ground. I'm going to try these little bunching onions. I don't know what they're like or if they work. And then I'm going to do some Swiss chard. I love these dark leafy greens. And then I received a special with my order with Botanical Interest. I received a free packet of lettuce, just a variety pack of lettuce. So that's on the to-do list. I don't think it'll take me very long. And then, so I've talked about the bush beans, got all of that. This is the dill that I purchased. And as you can see, mine's really far behind where this one's at. There's a lot of dill in there. But I want to tell you about a special deal that I got, and you should check out Lowe's. So on Mother's Day, for Mother's Day, if you're a rewards member, you could actually get a free plant. So this one is already dying back. I need to pluck this off, but there's tons of new growth and buds down in there. But this is just a straightforward, old-fashioned Gerber daisy. So I'm going to add this to my dad's special space because it should spread out a little bit, and I'll get a little bit 8 to 10 inches wide maybe. So it's going to get a little bigger than this, and I'll have some pretty yellow flowers, which yellow is my favorite color. But I was at Lowe's simply to get my free plant, and of course I can't help myself. I have to look at all the plants. So I just did a buzz through, and I happened to see a sign, and of course this was last Friday, not yesterday Friday, but a week ago Friday. And they had the Bonnie on that date, and I don't know if they're still on sale or not, but Lowe's has been having some really, really great deals. But this is the 11.8 ounce cup. So it's just a small cup. They have a larger cup. Now these things usually cost about $4 or $5 and up from there. So I just really like to try to find maybe more locally grown herbs because I don't spend quite as much money on them. So I never really, I'll just be real honest, I just don't ever look at the herbs there. I either try to start things by seed that I know I can do and buy them local. But they had these 5 for $10. So I thought that was a very, very fair price. So I'm going to be adding dill to my squash planter, and hopefully we'll get, stave off the squash bugs that get on there. I'm going to be trying to grow them upward this year by staking them. I know it's unheard of. They mound very well, but I know they're going to go all over my yard. And so I want to cut the grass, and that's just going to open them up to more disease, powdery mildew, all the things. So I have heard that dill is really good to be planted with squash. So I'm going to be planting that. And then I picked up a little more basil because who can't have enough basil? Now, parsley in the garden is also well. So I'm going to be planting some parsley in my garden to help with pests and bugs. So I got the curly end because I don't eat this kind necessarily, so it'll be great for them to grow in there. And hopefully my parsley is going to come up, my flat leaf parsley is going to come up. Then I did get me some cilantro because who doesn't love a little bit of cilantro fresh on a corn taco, like a chicken taco with some cilantro and onion and pico de gallo or a salsa. So who doesn't love that? So I'm going to grow a little bit of that now. And I did pick up just a sweet mint. I love mint. I like to take either lemon balm or maybe some lemon oil and put some fresh mint in it. There's a lot of things. This is not necessarily mojito mint, but I picked up some mint. The only thing about this is I'm going to keep it in a container because it's pretty invasive. It will take over everything. One year I had chocolate mint, and I had several different mints because there's a huge variety of these. and it literally took over my bed. I had a good friend who sold herbs at the time at the farmer's market, and I said, please come and get some of this chocolate mint and this mint out of my garden. I believe it had spearmint too. And so she was able to gather, and I was able to share the love with her and her enjoy her time at the farmer's market. So 5 for $10, pretty good deal. So I like to share when things are free, or you get really good prices on things with you guys, because it's expensive and these things can be a luxury. They're not necessary. And so I understand that anyone who might be on a fixed income, you know, or is limited just in what that they can do extra, then I want to pass that on to you. So I've got a busy day. Monty's brought my 5-gallon buckets up. They're already holes in them. They are ready to go. I've got my amendments out. I've got some perlite to go in to help, you know, to help a little bit with drainage. Now for the tomatoes, they love calcium, so I've got some bone meal for them. And then I just have some organic. I don't have just the tomato tone, but I really love the garden tone, the plant tone, and I'm gonna get some tomato tone that I'll be feeding, like just a little tablespoonful or teaspoonful around my plants when I water them in with a good mix. I'll come back later on another day with some things I've learned just about watering, when to water, how to water, all those things. But today, my friend, it is grab a pack of seeds. My sister goes in her woods and finds and rakes back the leaves and the debris and the things that have just fallen through the winter, and gets this incredible soil. So you don't have to go buy a big bag of soil. If you're just wanting to plant 1 or 2 things, or if you just want enough dirt to put in there. Now I do put holes in there so it's got good drainage. But this is really easy, and I had this domed to start with, so it creates its own little kind of terrarium. You can overwinter planting, and next year I'm going to be doing more of that. And if I can get my hands on enough gallon jugs that I can make my little terrarium, you make it where it hinges, you cut it all the way around. Like, I actually saved the top of one after I rescued it, and I planted seeds in there, and I've just got it sitting up high so that it can drain and it won't sit in the water, because the seeds, you know, that's not good for them. They need to stay good and moist. So that works well. But hopefully next year we can just spend some time on starting seed, getting seed to germinate. Is it that complicated? And my experience has been a late winter over in one of these gallon jugs of milk really has worked. So I'm excited. I hope that you're having a great weekend. If you're a mom, you are loved. You are loved. You are loved. It is the hardest job on earth. And so today I just want you to know that it's okay to do the things that you love. Find a little thing on the side that makes you happy. Maybe you read books. Maybe you grow seed. Maybe you just buy things for your grandkids. That's fun too. There are many faces of being a mom. And I still feel like that 21-year-old when I held my first child in my arms. Even today, when I hold my grandkids, I feel exactly the same emotion and the same love. So happy Mother's Day. I hope you have a wonderful Saturday. We're going to go out to dinner this afternoon, early evening, because it's just busy. And so happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Happy planting. Happy finding the thing that makes you happy. And never forget that you are loved. Have a great day.